Hey there, and welcome to this week's episode of the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. Today, we are talking about the 4 key people that you need in your business in order for it to grow. Now, some of these may actually surprise you, maybe they won't, but I do know that if you don't have these people in your business, you simply aren't going to grow because there is no possible way you have the knowledge and the ability to do all of these things yourself. I also want to let you know that today, the second video in my free video training series has just gone live. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sharing with you over the next week or so the top 3 mistakes that I see retailers making and how you can go about fixing them. And if you would like to grab those, you can get them over at selenaknight.com/unstuck. They are completely free, but they are only around for another week or so. So let's jump into today's episode where I'm going to share with you the key 4 people that you need in your business in order to grow. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the 4 key people that you need inside of your retail business if you want to move it to the next level. Now, last week, I went to do my yearly taxes, and for most people, that makes them cringe. But for me, it's really uplifting because not only did it give me a chance to see how things had changed in my business over the last 12 months, but I also analysed where my money was going out, where it was coming in, and I even looked at some ways that we could make some more money. And when I went to the accountants, I got him to talk to me about budgeting over the next 12 months. Now, if you know me, I am not a numbers kind of person. In fact, I hate dealing with numbers. So for me to be excited about going to the accountant, that is a really big step. And the idea of a budget for me is, not going to happen. Well, I say that. But what my accountant has done is he's really taught me to embrace, money and to look at how money can, it's a great thing. And the things that you can do with money are obviously really, really obvious. You can live a better life. You can help more people out. You can employ people. You can make the world a better place. But the budgeting allowed me to forecast my earnings for the next year, something that is a little bit scary. But it also got me thinking about how if I wanted to move my business up to this next level, like I know where I want to be 12 months from now, that I was also going to have to invest some money into my business in order to do so. So my accountant, his name's Jose and I talked about the implications of both of those things, the implications of growing your business and having to invest and the tax implications that come with that, and also where's the money coming from? Will I bring this money in from revenue alone? Will I pay for some on my credit card? Will I use money that I've got in the bank? Like all these sorts of things. And so he was actually great at giving me advice on the tax implications of using different kinds of money and which one would benefit me best. So that was really great. Like it's really empowering to talk about money. And even if you aren't doing well, I think if you set that time aside to talk to your accountant, sometimes it is not a big thing to move from a loss to a profit. You just don't know how to do it. So Jose and I talked about tax implications, but we also talked about setting money aside for taxes. Now, this is really important because here in Australia, we have this thing called provisional tax, whereby you have to pay your tax in a great big lump sum every single quarter. Thanks very much, tax office. Now, we went through all of my income sources, including my non-business income and investments and capital losses that were brought forward and other losses and capital gains and all those sorts of things. And he actually gave me an approximation of how much money I should be putting aside for tax. Now, that is important because I see so many retailers who they think that they've finally stopped treading water. They think they've finally got some money in the bank and bang, tax bill. Bang, GST bill here in Australia. So knowing how much of that you need to forecast, and it's not always the amount you think. Sometimes it might be less, especially if you haven't earned a profit in the year before. If you've got losses being carried forward. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. This is just from my experience. if you've got losses that you've brought forward from, from capital investments or from the capital investment that you've put into your business, well, that's going to offset the tax that you have to pay. So maybe the tax that you think you're going to have to pay isn't going to be as bad as you thought it was going to be. So empowering yourself with this knowledge of money is really important so that you don't get caught off guard. You don't get stuck. That's my dog over there. You don't get stuck when the bills come in because you've already got that money put aside, and sometimes you'll even have a little bit extra. So whether you're turning a profit or even if you're in debt, accepting where you're at, taking control and moving away from just hoping that there's going to be some money left at the end of the month, that is empowerment. That is good business practices, and it is the easiest way to move your business to the next level. So the accountant is the first key person that you need in your business, and you are going to have to pay some money to bring these people on board. But what that accountant can do for you, he or she will pay for themselves time and time again. Okay, so we've got the accountant. He's the big picture guy or girl, and they provide information based on they provide advice based on the information that you give them. So they help you with strategy, but they can only work with the information that you provide. So if you are leaving out these key numbers in your business, if you don't understand what a capital loss is, if you don't understand what capital gains are, and having to pay tax on inventory at closing stock and the cost of goods and all these kinds of things, then you may be missing out on a lot of money. You may be maybe you're turning a profit and you don't even know it, or maybe you're turning you're in a loss and you don't know it. So the accountant can only work with the information that you give to them. And this is where a good bookkeeper comes into their own. Now, bookkeepers, in the grand scheme of things, aren't particularly expensive, and they are worth their weight in gold. Now, most retailers I know, they shun the idea of a bookkeeper. They think it's a luxury. But if there is no one else in your business that you get, I'm so passionate about this, the bookkeeper is the person you have to get. Okay, they are the person who knows what needs to go into your accounts. They know how to set up your accounting system so that you can get the right reports out. And they don't have to be ridiculously expensive, but it's their job to make sure that you're putting the correct information, or they're putting the correct information into your system so that your accountant can work with that. And often, like I said, a bookkeeper is the difference between a profit and a loss. And don't forget, their expenses are tax deductible. So my second most important person is a bookkeeper. Now, my number 3 person to take your business to the next level is, you are not going to expect what I'm going to say. It is a graphic designer. Now, I bet you're thinking like, yes, Al, I can't afford a graphic designer. If I had to get somebody to design every single thing that I needed, I'd have to be rich to do that. But hear me out. If you have been in business for a while now, maybe it's time to step up a level. And brand identity is the thing that propels your business forward. It allows you to charge a premium price, to offer better customer service. And why is that? Well, because retail is all about feelings. That's what you're selling, whether it's convenience or beauty or a sense of fulfillment or serenity. People buy that because they want to feel a certain way. And if the way that you project your brand gets elevated, then your customers are going to feel better. They're going to feel like it's a luxury. They're going to feel like they're prepared to pay more money in order to shop with your store. Now, you don't have to get a graphic designer to design everything. You can just, there are platforms out there, the Fiverr, Canva, all these sorts of things. There are people who will put together templates for you for a really, reasonable price. For $50 or $100, you can get a series of templates that you can use in your business, and you just type in the text that you need, or you drop in the picture that you need. So, obviously you need to know where your brand is at, and what your brand identity is first. But if you've been in business a while, I kind of encourage you to step up a level and get that cohesive nature going right through your brand. So my number 3 key person to take your business to the next level is a graphic designer. And the last, but definitely by all means not least, most important person that you need to move your business to the next level is a retail mentor. Now, my friend Denise Duffield Thomas says, don't take advice from people who haven't achieved what you want to achieve. And I don't know why it is, but we seek out advice from our mums and our dads and our aunties and our uncles and the guy at the local fish and chip shop and even your best friend, only to feel really deflated when they either, serve you up platitudes like, oh, you're doing a great job, it'll all work out in the end. Or they just kind of, if they're the opposite, they'll kind of say, well, you kind of knew what you were getting into, but, hashtag, yeah, thanks, that didn't help me. If you are seeking out advice from people who aren't kicking those goals that you want to achieve, then you are doing yourself and your retail business a disservice. It is holding you back immensely because there's no actionable advice. There's no strategy. There's no plan to move you forward. It's just noise in your brain that's got you second guessing and maybe thinking and even stepping back, going backwards, because these people don't know what it takes to get there. They don't know what you need to do to get to the next level. So where you're at in your retail business journey will always dictate the key people that you need to surround yourself with in order to go to the next level. Obviously, the higher your goals, the more strategic you need to be about those people. But I can tell you this, no business becomes successful with just one person. It doesn't. It just can't. You cannot do everything. And it is your job as the owner to plot the path that you want to take and to navigate your way there. And to do this, you are going to need people. So surround yourself with those people. Start with those 4 key people that I mentioned, your accountant, your bookkeeper, your graphic designer, and a retail mentor in order to take you to the next level. Stop getting really bad advice from people who don't know what we're talking about. Let's just go right back to the accountant. You don't go and get financial advice from the local fish and chip shop guy, do you? No, you get financial advice from the people who do this for a living. So go out and surround yourself with those people and you will be in the first steps to taking your business to the next level.